Hello there, I'm David Fleeshman,
And I'm Sue Jenkins.
and we are both professional actors and theatre directors.
And we're delighted to be joining Saga Not Going Out Club for the next 4 sessions. And we really hope you will join us for those.
We've been within this profession now for 40 odd years, 46 to be exact. And although we've got different names, me being David Fleeshman and my wife being Sue Jenkins, her professional name, we are actually married, and we've been married for as nearly as long as we've actually been in this profession. In fact, this month we celebrated 42 years of marriage. Now we tend to work obviously in theatre and TV, in film. In fact, over the years we've managed to work in every one of the different media, radio, commercials, voiceovers. But some 11 years ago, we actually set up with our eldest daughter, Emily, the Actors Lab. Can you tell them about the Actors Lab?
Yeah, the Actors Lab is a part-time drama school. It's a part-time drama school which the classes are taken by people who are actually in the profession. So that's either casting directors or theatre directors or actors or voice coaches or stage combat coaches.
The main things we try and do is get them very quickly to become friends and work together as a team and relax. And we use different ways of doing this. We play a lot of games, a lot of exercises, a lot of bonding games. But most importantly, we try and get people relaxed. Because why? I think anyone who actually gets up on their feet and actually addresses an audience inevitably is going to suffer with nerves, and nerves get in the way of what they're trying to achieve. Now, this doesn't just apply to actors. This applies to anyone in any walk of life who has, and most of us will, actually have a time come a time when they actually stand up in front of an audience, be it at a wedding, be it their best man, father of the bride, mother of the bride, whatever, or in front of a board meeting if they're making a presentation, should they be in any business like accountancy, banking, or doctors, whatever. They have to make a speech, and nerves get in the way. And Sue has a wonderful way of actually dealing with those nerves and making sure that people then can actually give the work that they have to do to the best of their ability.
We're going to start sitting down in a very relaxed way. We can lie down in class. We sometimes have yoga mats and people lie down and put their knees up if they're a little bit, aware of sensitivity in the spine. But we can also sit down, and it's an easier way, more relaxed way to do it initially. So David is going to sit like this, and he's going to keep his shoulders down. The one thing we want to really avoid is when we breathe in, we don't want to do this and bring the shoulders up. If we do this, we're tense. And if you notice when you are stressed, the shoulders start to go up. So really we've got to keep shoulders down. If you were to eventually do this lying down on a yoga mat or even on a bed, make sure that the head falls back and is very relaxed. But in a sitting position, we're going to keep the head upright, shoulders quite square, but absolutely relaxed. I'm going to ask David to place his hands like this, palms against, just under his chest. So he's touching the first 7 pairs of ribs, which are the true ribs. We have 12 pairs of ribs, but the first 7 pair are called the true ribs because they're totally attached. And we're going to take notice of those today. So any breathing we do is going to be through the nose, and we're going to breathe, whenever I say breathe out, we're going to breathe out through an open mouth. So this first exercise, it's a really good exercise if we suddenly get anxious, if we suddenly feel afraid. So we're going to breathe in through the nose to the count of 4. We're going to hold for the count of 4, so that's not breathing in or out. And then we're going to breathe out through an open mouth to the count of 4. Then we're going to hold that neutrality, if you like, for the count of 4. So we're going to do 4, 4, 4, 4. So you can close your eyes, you can play some music, relaxation, anything that helps you. So, through the nose, breathe in slowly. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and out through an open mouth. 2, 3, 4, and hold the neutral state. 3 and 4. That's basically when we're holding the neutral state, we feel the calm, and then we breathe in again through the nose to the count of 4, and we hold, and we breathe out again, and then we hold. Now, with this exercise, the reason that I say put the palms down like this is those two fingers that are together, when the ribs swing up and out around the expanding lungs, those fingers will separate, and it's just a reminder of what actually is happening inside of the body. If we can actually relate it and really visualize it, it actually helps us to understand what's happening. Now, with this exercise, you can play around with it. If you find, 4 is so easy, you can increase to 5, you can increase to 6, 7 and 8. Just be careful that you don't over push. Don't push yourself to have to hold longer than is comfortable. This is all about comfort, and it's all about exercising and repetition so that you are happy with it, and you'll know what works for you. It's also incredibly good for insomnia when we're lying awake at night at usually 3 in the morning with all those thoughts going through the mind. Oh, I know, I'm going to do my breathing technique, and it works.
I feel very relaxed already. Something else we do with our classes, not just with the newcomers, but really at the start of every lesson, is play a few games, few exercises. One of our favourites, which we're going to teach you, is called 1, 2, 3 and a zing, zing, zing. We're going to demonstrate how it works. I'm number 1.
I'm number 2.
And you're number 2, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 3 and a zing, zing, zing. Number 2.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 1.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 2.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 1.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 2.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 2. Who, me? Yes, you. Not me. Then who? Number 1.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 1. Who, me? Yes, you. Not me. Then who? Number 2. Okay, so that actually is much harder than it seems, because it really takes a lot of mental agility to remember the phrasing and also to keep the rhythm. The rhythm's very important, isn't it? It should have a musicality about it. And we usually start at this speed.
Yes.
1, 2, 3 and a zing, zing, zing. Number 2.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 1.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Not me.
Then who?
Number 2. So we start off very slowly like that. We'll actually send you the text of that so that, if you've got a friend or a spouse, a husband, a wife, someone you'd like to have a little play at this and see how fast and how accurate you can get with it. It's a great exercise. So today in this first session we've looked at relaxation, we've looked at breathing, we've given a little example of the sort of games and exercises we use for people to actually bond and get friendly with each other. And in follow-up sessions what we're going to do is look at first of all, we're going to look at all the different techniques required to work in the different media that our profession offers. What you do on stage and what you do in front of a camera are two entirely different things. The only common denominator, of course, is talent. After that, it's technique, technique, and there are different techniques for theatre, different techniques for film, for TV, different techniques for radio, and we're going to touch upon those. We're also going to touch upon the practitioners. You want to say something about
practitioners?
Yes,
everybody thinks of Stanislavski, wonderful Konstantin Stanislavski, and then other practitioners followed on, and we've got lots of lovely stories about lots of actors, famous actors, who've studied with the various practitioners, and it's going to be great to actually compare all of those techniques.
And of course we're not going to neglect the greatest writer of all time, Shakespeare. We've got some fun and games with Shakespeare, the joy of Shakespeare, the poetry of Shakespeare, how you approach Shakespeare, a little quiz. So that is all in sessions to come. We do hope you're going to join us. So for now, thank you very much for watching. We look forward to seeing you next time. Please take care of yourselves. And from me, David, it's goodbye.
And from me, Sue, it's please do those exercises. They really are great if you can just nail them. So good luck with that. See you next time.
See you next time. Goodbye now.